Hello, Uncle Ted, your ice cream alchemist with ice cream every day, and today we're going to do something different. This is going to be blueberry cheesecake ice cream, and I gotta tell you, this came out incredibly rich. It was one of my favorites, and honestly, blueberries were on sale. I grabbed some, and I don't regret it. It was a great choice. So we start off with a pound of blueberries. And to that, after I've rinsed them off, I go ahead and add a cup of sugar and a quarter of a cup of water, just enough to dissolve the sugar in the pan. And I add that to a cold pan, and then I slowly bring them up to temperature. I use just barely enough water so that the sugar crystals will actually get dissolved. And I make sure that I've got the heat very low because I don't want these to scorch. I want to slowly bring them up to temperature. That way nothing gets burned, and I'm just looking at heating this up so that I can cook out the moisture. I don't need to cook these per se. These blueberries really were incredible, and they were a great find on sale, and each and every one of them was great. Even when I was picking them clean, I didn't have to throw out any bad ones. These were some wonderful blueberries, great flavor, and I really lucked out in finding them. That's the great thing about luscious blueberries. You cook them down, you end up with a luxurious sauce, and the things that you can do with that sauce are almost unlimited. As long as you have the imagination, you can do some incredibly sensuous things. Alright, so let's go ahead and get on with it. The base is going to be typical of the bases that we've used in the past. We're going to have 2 whole eggs, then 3 egg yolks. We're going to use 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. And then for the usual structure, we've got half cup of the non-fat dry milk. Then we're going to be using 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 cup of whole milk. We're going to have 1 cup of the blueberry compote that we just made. Plus we're going to have the usual 1 teaspoon of the vanilla. And then of course for emulsifiers we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of the xantham gum and 1/8 of a teaspoon of guar gum. By the way, I had a professor call it guar gum, so that's what I called it, but then I had people correcting me saying it's guar gum, so I'm like, alright, fine, we'll call it guar gum. I'm not really that heavily invested in how it's pronounced, just use it, it works. Just like before, we're going to go ahead and slowly heat that dairy up till it's hot. Then once it's warm, we're going to go ahead and add our non-fat powdered milk. Once we got that well incorporated, then we're going to add our cream cheese that we've cut up into little pieces, and we're going to stir that until it is thoroughly melted and incorporated in our dairy. Once we've got everything well heated and thoroughly combined, go ahead and take your eggs and blend them really well with the sugar. Basically, you're going to end up with a lemon-colored mixture of sugar and eggs, and to which then you would add your emulsifiers, the guar gum and the xantham gum, and make sure that's well blended. By that time, the dairy is going to be well heated, so we're going to go ahead and temper the eggs. You've seen me do this before. We slowly add the dairy while mixing the eggs. This way you heat up the eggs without cooking them and you don't end up with scrambled eggs. Tempering eggs looks harder than it really is. It takes a little practice, but once you get the hang of it, you really be able to do a good job of making custards so that you're able to heat the eggs without cooking them and you're not having scrambled eggs in your dishes. Now, once you've got that egg mixture tempered, bring it back in the pan, slowly heat it up to 165 degrees to cook out all the cooties. Make sure to keep stirring the whole time so that nothing ends up sticking to the pan. Once you're at 165 degrees, then hold it for 1 minute, bring it off the heat, and then we're going to put it through a strainer when we put it in our container that we're going to use to store it for 24 hours. Next, all we gotta do is add our vanilla and our blueberry compote, give that a good mix, put it in the refrigerator for 12 hours, and you're good to go. What I do is, once it's in the machine, that's when I'll add a handful of the crushed graham cracker or butter cookies, and that'll give it a bit of a crust. You don't have to do it that way. I did it just to give it a bit of a crust. Worked great. I love the butter cookies more than the graham cracker, but that's just me. I do want to thank you for watching this video. Please click subscribe and share the videos, and remember, if you're not eating ice cream for breakfast, what's the point of being an adult? Thank you.